Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're tuning into AMTV Alternative Media Television. So I can't help but think that this entire Ebola scare is some kind of covert operation, of which the President of the United States, Barack Obama, is using it as an opportunity, the guise of humanitarian crisis, to set up AFRICOM, which was announced by the State Department to send immediately 3,000 U.S. armed, ready, body-able troops to West Africa. Just conveniently, at the same time, we're supposedly fighting this war against ISIS in the Middle East and parts of North Africa, where we recently saw an anti-congressional illegal invasion by the Obama administration in Libya with the ouster of Muammar Gaddafi. So what do we know about Ebola? Well, first off, we know that the CDC in the beginning lied to us, said that it wasn't a risk, that they would contain the crisis. This was all coming from WHO, the World Health Organization. We know that approximately 5,000 people or so have been infected, and half of those infections have resulted in fatalities. Some odd 2,500, 2,600 people roughly now dead as a result of being infected by the disease. Now the CDC estimates that upwards to 500,000 people, yeah, that's right, they've gone from just a few thousand cases to estimating that in a worst case scenario, there could be up to 500,000 people infected by the disease. Now, most people are familiar with the, I guess, old-fashioned form of Ebola, the Zaire virus, the Zaire strain, which you can only get by human-to-human contact through touch, by exchanging the virus itself, by touching or maybe having sex or making out with somebody or exchanging bodily fluids. But what the CDC and WHO is worried about, but Obama would probably see as an opportunity in this part of the world, is the disease aggressively mutating into a much different, potentially airborne strain. Now, there have been studies by scientists around the world, namely in Canada, where they've actually seen instances of these mutated strains going airborne and in pigs and monkeys. So this has happened before. And of course, if humans are being infected at an alarming rate, and let's say we go from just a few thousand infections to 500,000 or potentially millions, think about that risk to the global population. Now, another very valid question that people need to ask is, why haven't we shut down air travel coming into the United States from sub-Saharan Africa? Places like Sierra Leone and Liberia, where Obama is setting up AFRICOM military command centers conveniently with perfect timing. At the same time, we're fighting ISIS, sending 3,000 troops in Monrovia, Liberia. You see, we have to ask these questions. Why isn't the CDC, WHO, and our terrorist watchdog groups, Homeland Security, these Orwellian organizations in the United States, shutting down air travel if the CDC is warning that up to 500,000 people could potentially be infected by the end of the year? And again, this could potentially grow at an exponential rate. We've all seen the movies Outbreak, these Hollywood productions where it moves from just a few people to thousands, to tens of thousands, to hundreds of thousands, to millions, and then it destroys all of humanity. It becomes the next bubonic plague, and all of a sudden we have a modern day dark ages. Others are arguing that this is kind of the Malthusian prediction theory, that this intense population growth over the years can only be contained by things like disease. And also, we see parts of Africa, of course, although it's very agrarian in scope, we see a crisis in poverty. We see a lot of people going hungry, unable to feed themselves. They don't have proper sanitation, of course. In a lot of these parts of the world, water, etc., isn't clean. And now this disease is spreading and potentially wiping out the human population and cleansing the sick earth, so to speak, and cleansing this massive human population growth. So again, I can't help but think that this is somehow a covert operation, another humanitarian crisis that the Obama administration is going to use as an opportunity, just like they've tried to sell the lie and the con job of the chemical sarin gas attacks in Syria not too long ago, so the United States they could generate public opinion to bomb the shit out of Bashar al-Assad in Syria and enter a new war. When that didn't work, and it turned out that independent investigators, the United Nations, and others pointed that it was actually the terrorist armed rebels on the ground that have been funded and armed by the United States they used another giant scapegoat in the form of fake beheading. So again, Obama likes to use humanitarian crises as his smokescreen to accomplish his military objectives in this part of the world. We have to ask, why would we be putting 3,000 armed military personnel, soldiers on the ground with little to no experience containing a viral outbreak in this part of the world unless they had a military objective in northern Africa and perhaps the Middle East, where we are allegedly at war with the new convenient boogeyman ISIS. Now, of course, none of this is to say that this isn't an extreme and very real threat to the global population and to the United States of America and every country on the planet for that matter, but it is most definitely going to be used as an opportunity by the commander-in-chief that makes up this regime in the United States and this Orwellian police state set to destroy all of our liberty and freedom and send us once again, into another very self-destructive and costly war. I'm Christopher Green. Get this out everywhere. I'm curious to hear what you think. Put your comment, question in the description box below and click the link below to support our sponsor. Check out our sponsor, ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com, the leading innovator in water filtration systems. Get all of your water filters at ProPureUSA.com. Click the link below right now.